Alright, what it do, folks? This is part 2 of my LEGO City Hospital MOC for my Paradisa LEGO City, and I'm going to be showing a walkthrough view of the interior of all 5 floors. The best part, I'm going to be showing the construction of the glass barriers for the balconies, revealing the sliding doors for the elevator, and showing how the working elevator is constructed to run super smooth. So stick around and keep watching. Also, if you haven't seen the part 1 video of my LEGO City Hospital MOC, where I give the background information on this hospital and do an exterior walk around, I definitely recommend going to watch that now. Go ahead and click the link at the top of this video. And if you want to get notified when I release the part 3 video showing all 10 floors of this hospital and the elevator zipping up and down the full 10 floors, go ahead and hit that notification bell. Okay, let's go. Poof. And here's the first floor. Okay, so I'm going to try to go through these interiors as quickly as possible. I don't want to have a super long video. The other thing, disclaimer, my interiors, I don't consider them to be 100% complete. Everything's still a work in progress. So this is where the walk-in ER is, but there's also, to the right, there's the dining and cafe area. Now, before I get started on the interior, let me talk about a couple of things. One is I decided to make all my floors to be 8 bricks tall. And the reason for that is because in the original set, all the windows have a red plate on the bottom and a red plate on the top. Now, I didn't want to have to add plates to all my interior walls. So what I decided to do was to add a single white plate right below the red plate on the bottom of the window. And that made it so that all my interior walls are exactly 8 bricks tall. I didn't have to use a ton of plates just to build all the interior walls. Another structural detail that I have done is that I built the exterior of the hospital first, all 9 floors, back in May, and then later on I filled in the interiors. And because my designs are constantly in flux and constantly changing, I didn't want to integrate the interior walls with the exterior walls. So interior walls are separate so that it enabled me to disassemble them quickly if I needed to make a design change. And they're only tied into the exterior walls by the tile plates on the very top. A major theme for each floor is that the interior walls have a color coding. So each floor has its own color as it goes up. In the first floor, we have the aqua color, which I think goes well with the Paradisa theme. Now, one other honorable mention is this tree here. You see the magenta and the flame orange color on the leaves. Now, you're not going to see this in real life on a tropical tree. However, this does get inspiration from a real life plant, and I actually have it right over there in the corner. That's a croton. So a croton, it grows in tropical areas. You'll find it in Hawaii. And what I love about that plant is that the leaves will change colors from oranges and yellows and magentas all in a single leaf. And it just looks really pretty when the sun shines through it. And here's a full interior of the first floor. So I'm going to go counterclockwise. And here's the main entrance. You've got the receptionist or information desk. You've got the public elevator. And you've got the dining area. We've got a few people already having lunch there, and we have the cafe. That's where you order your food, and there's the food bar all right here. And as you see, my little minifigure right there is ordering some food. We have the staff elevator here. We've got the walk-in ER. We've got the waiting room for the walk-in ER. We've got the nurse station here. Now this little minifigure, she is she's having some vision problems right now. I think she got a little paint on her face, and she's about to walk straight into a wall. So we've got these 2 nurses rushing out to help her and save her from smacking into that wall. All right, so I decided to switch to handheld so I can get in closer shots and show a lot of the other details. And here you are. This is where the walk-in ER starts. There is a information TV screen right there. I don't have any stickers for that. But hopefully eventually in the future. This jolly guy is looking pretty stoked to be helping patients out. We got the glass elevator, and you got the dial buttons right there. You got a matching tile for each floor level as to the color that's on each floor. Alright, and here is the dining area, and over here there's a couple of tables for 2 people, and there is a large table for a group of people. There's 2 single-only tables, solo tables, and you can see there's some paramedics that are on break. This is the cafe, and you can see that's a Duplo piece. This is the cafe area, so we got a bunch of food there. We got watermelon, waffles, croissants, pizzas, hot dogs, pies, cookies. Let's see, there's also bananas, a sandwich, desserts. There's a refrigerator. There is a sink and an espresso machine. And that's the door for delivering the food up to this area from the kitchen, which will be downstairs. And here is the walk-in ER, and there are 4 medical bays. And each medical bay has the IV. It's got a computer monitor to monitor the patients. As you can see right there, this guy is getting his hand fixed. He broke his hand. Over here is the waiting room. And this guy is not looking too happy. Alright, so now I'm going to show you guys the elevator. Easily one of the top features of this hospital. And this hospital has 2 elevators. And one of my favorite features is the sliding glass doors. So each floor has sliding glass doors, not only at the entrance of the elevator, but on the elevator itself. And I got that idea from the Ninjago City set. When I saw those Japanese sliding doors, I was like, this was brilliant! And I immediately had the idea to use them for the elevators. And I'm kind of glad I got to see that because at the time I didn't have a strong concept of how I was going to do the elevator doors. I know I didn't want to have swinging doors. And the other thing is that any other type of sliding door would have taken up way too much room within the hospital itself. So this is perfect and slim, and you just needed a little extra width to accommodate the opening of the doors. So let me show you the elevator itself. It's an all-glass elevator. And again, it's got enough room for a handful of doctors and a stretcher. And there's the sliding doors on the front of the elevator. So again, this is a staff elevator and it's much larger. The other elevator is an 8x8, while this one is an 8x10. So if you haven't seen the Ninjago City set, it's using the plate with the rail on it, top and bottom, and that's what these slide into. Now, I went through many iterations trying to get a working elevator, and this was the best concept I came up with. So the elevator actually slides on this back wall here, and these rails actually meet up with the rails from each floor. And right along the side here is where the Technic beams are. So in order to prevent the elevator from catching and snagging onto the draft angles of all the different bricks, I used a larger wheel here, and if you notice that this larger wheel is slightly larger than 2 studs wide, it offsets the elevator off this back wall right here and prevents it from catching or snagging on it. The other thing is that it's much quieter because I'm using rubber wheels. One of my previous concepts, I was using a Technic rolling pin. It's too loud, and then because it's not actually making contact with the hospital wall, you're not getting all those frictional noises either. For the front set of wheels, the same thing is that it's slightly smaller than 2 studs wide. And so the elevator will actually sit forward just a tiny bit. The other thing that I discovered is that a Technic beam is not the full width of a 1 stud brick. This way it is, but not this way. And because of that, it allows the elevator an extra bit of clearance on either side of it where the elevator is making contact on these 2 surfaces. So with the combination of the Technic beams and the 2 different pairs of wheels, the elevator just happens to float just in there and doesn't quite make contact with most surfaces. Now, every once in a while it will kind of snag. If the elevator gets at a slight tilt, it will kind of snag on those rails. And it works really well. Poof, on to the next floor. Yeah, alright, so this is the 6th floor actually. Now, if you've seen part 1, you'll know that I'm skipping a bunch of floors. Those will actually show up in my next video. So floors 2 through 5 are going to be in part 3 of this hospital video series. And here we are. This is the 6th floor, and it is the long-term patient care as well as the cancer department. So the color theme for this one is the light lavender brick color. And right away, what makes this floor unique is the fact that it's got a balcony on the front and a balcony on the back. I wanted the floors high up on the hospital to have balconies so that people can go out and, basically enjoy the view in the city. And the balcony doesn't actually protrude from the building. What it is that the floors 1 through 5 below it have a plus sign shape to it. And on this floor with the balcony, It's just a rectangle that goes around and the wall has been moved back. All right, so let's go room by room. Okay, so going counterclockwise again, we've got the public elevator, and this is the last floor of the public elevator. And they can exit right here. There is a nurse station right there. They can also exit onto the balcony through this door here. There is a long-term patient room in there. This is number 1. This is number 2. This is the biggest room right here. It's a nice corner room. There's room number 3. This is the exit to the back balcony, room number 4. And over here is the staff elevator. There's room number 5 and room number 6. And then I've got a couple of bathrooms for boys and girls. And you're probably wondering what this is. Just for fun, I put a question mark in there. And that was supposed to be my radiation therapy room. I got onto the interwebs and I was going to research what those machines look like so I can make one out of Legos. And it turns out that a radiation therapy room are usually in the basement of a hospital because it's surrounded by concrete walls to prevent radiation from escaping. And I'm like, okay, well, this is in a corner window on the 6th floor. We can't have that. So I'm going to end up aborting this. And what I'm going to end up doing is moving this room over into this corner. And I'm going to build the radiation therapy room in the very center of this floor. And I'm just going to pretend that these walls are super reinforced with radiation blocking materials. Now, as far as the bathrooms, I don't really have room to fit 2 bathrooms like I have here, so it's going to be 1 small bathroom right there. All right, so let's go do a quick demonstration of the glass railing on the balcony, one of my favorite features of this hospital. So let me pull some trees apart here. And here you can see that I used the 1x2x5 bricks that are transparent blue, just laid them sideways. Initially, I thought that it would be best to have them symmetrical, and the 2 studs would meet in the middle, and that I would have some sort of brick setup that would connect the 2. And no matter what, it wouldn't quite line up. So what I finally ended up doing was using a 1x2 bracket here and a couple of headlight bricks over here. The glass pieces now flow from right to left. The only attachment points are here at the wall, and so they just float. Oh, things are falling apart. And so they just float in there. Now I do have them captured so that the glass can't really move around. As you can see, I've also incorporated some reinforcement, so if I was to accidentally bump it this way, this would block it, and vice versa on the opposite side. But I think it came out really good, and I like it. All right, so I'm gonna do the shaky handheld thing again. So this is the public elevator, and right there is the nurse station. These nurses take care of all the patients on this floor. And as you can see there, she's got her needles. She's super stoked to give somebody their injections. Not sure why, maybe it's her favorite patient. And of course, this is a city of the future, and there is a RoboVac right there cleaning the floors. And in this room, we've got a guy here in his wheelchair in his nice little room. And over here, let's see if we can go through the glass. This is the corner room. And this is the largest room on this floor. So it's got the bed, it's got a bedside desk or dresser. Each room has its own plant. And in this particular room, there was enough room to put a little nook. And there we can see a very young patient who is undergoing radiation therapy for leukemia. And her recovery is going quite well. She's super stoked. She can't wait to grow her hair back. We have some people out here on the balcony. And over in this room, we have a cancer patient. And she's been passed out asleep for the last 4 days. And here we have this guy, and he's the one who's going to get the injection from the nurse, and he is not too happy about it. The other thing that I'm trying to do with all my hospital floors, and I'll probably be doing a better job in the future, is adding as much plants as I can to the interiors of each floor. Boom, and here's the 7th floor. Now this is easily one of my favorite floors because of the unconventional floor plan to it. Now, these balconies are much smaller and they're set back, and that means I had to carve out into the building itself. and that gives the building a whole hourglass shape to it. So this floor is the staff only floor, and the coloring for this one is sand green. So starting in the middle here and going counterclockwise, this is the break room. There is a kitchen and a couple of dining tables. Over here is the locker room for doctors and nurses to change out of their dirty scrubs or into their clean scrubs, whatever. We got a couple of lockers in there. There's actually a bench right there. These are two changing or shower rooms, so they can also shower in there. Maybe they had a really long surgery and they're all sweaty, or now because the public elevator only goes up to the floor below it on the 6th floor, I needed a pass through for the elevator cable to go through, the cable that lifts and lowers the elevator. So that's what this is. These four are, we've got 3 offices and there's a bathroom right there. Originally that was going to be an office, and then I realized, how can I have a staff floor without a bathroom? And so I threw in the bathroom right there at the last minute. And if you're wondering, oh my goodness, it's got glass doors and a glass window. Well, it's a hospital of the future, so they have digital tinting. As soon as you walk in, the windows will black out. Each office has a TV screen on it, a desk, a computer, and over here is the director's office. And here's the only access to the floor, which is the staff elevator. And the last room here is the conference room. It's got a large table with 6 chairs, and it has a large TV screen up on that wall. Another one of my favorite features of this particular floor, and it's unique to this floor only, and that is the full wraparound glass on the entire right side of this floor. So it's all glass windows. Oh, and so this guy's rushing into the bathroom, and he's gotta go. He's definitely gotta go. All right, and here we've got somebody out on the balcony having her lunch break, having some coffee and a slice of pie. And as you can see, I did the glass railing the same as the balcony before it. Now, to get access to this balcony, you actually have 2 doors, one here and one over there. Moving on to the break room, we've got here the little kitchenette. There's a stove, a little sink, there's an espresso machine, there's a TV up on that wall, there's a refrigerator, and of course there's a couple of people having some pizza. I got a couple little plants in the corner there. Again, there's lockers. There's a bench right there. And here we got the director's office. There's a director right there in her office. There's a TV up on the wall. Again, I need to get some stickers for the TV screens. I got way too many TVs. Not enough stickers. Okay, and another favorite floor of mine. This is the 8th floor, aka the rooftop, aka the gardening and maintenance department. So a quick reminder, as I said in the very first video, part 1, my LEGO City is going to be set in the future, 2060, and it is going to be an eco-environmentally friendly city, and they love plants, and they have plants everywhere. So one of their initiatives is to have plants on all the rooftops, as many as possible, and I wanted to dedicate the rooftop of the hospital to growing lots of plants. And back here is the gardening department and maintenance for the whole building. So over here we've got a watering hose for all the plants. I've also got a gardener here. With a little wheelbarrow. There's a water bottle for misting all the plants. There's some pruning shears right there. And of course, she really likes gardening. So she kind of dyed her hair a little bit of green. She wears green pants. She's got a utility belt, probably filled with seeds. Who knows? And over here is the elevator lift. I'll do a breakdown of that on the next floor on the helipad, because it's a lot easier to do that. Okay, and I'll talk about the red columns here. Now, the red columns go up at an angle after the 6th floor, and I went through several iterations on how to connect them to the upper floor. I tried to connect them to the 7th floor as well, but decided to just bypass the 7th floor. And this is what I came up with. This worked the best. It took several efforts to get the alignment just right. All right, and now on to the interior shots of the maintenance building. There is the emergency power for the whole hospital in case power goes out. There's battery backup in there, and probably some other, like a flywheel emergency battery system. These doors right there, those are all just utility sheds. I haven't actually populated them yet. There is a workbench right over there in that corner. And and swing it around. On this side is a sink and a recycle bin for focus for the gardener. And of course there's the garage door for, hauling the wheelbarrows out and all the big plants and stuff like that. Alright, and 9th floor, or the helipad. So this is basically pretty simple, just a helipad. And they got the yellow zones for where the wheels are going to land. I love how doing the cobblestone kind of around the border. I got little water drainage right there. Of course, on the back side is the 2 pillars coming up the back side of the building. I've got my little minifigure right here, ready to go for when the helicopter comes. And again, you've seen all this detail from the previous floors. I got 2 trees that are growing right here on the side of the building. Okay, and here is the top of the elevator, the roof to the elevator shaft on top of the helipad, and this is the lift mechanism. Of course, all the plants attract all the birds, and this hospital has energy efficiency, so it's all the buildings in Paradisa City are going to have wind turbines that collect wind energy blowing through the city. And I've got, because this is a high-rise building, I've got a huge ventilation fan on both of the elevator shafts. So let me show you the inner workings of the elevator shaft, or the lift mechanism. So here you can see there's a large gear that's running a little black gear right there. And I'm using the larger Technic pulleys. Okay, I just use that to keep this from flying off everywhere. Well, go ahead, let me see if I can pull this off real quick. Okay, so I kind of disassembled it really quickly, and because I wanted to show the use of this wall panel right there in order to keep this gear held down and continue to make contact with the little black gear right there. Without that little ledge that's sticking up over the gear, the spacing of the gear had too much slop in it, and where this is aligned up, and of course the stack height of bricks and plates versus how Technic is designed doesn't quite line up. So having that little ledge come over and help align that gear and keep it down was absolutely essential for the operation of this. So I'm really glad that worked out. Took a lot of trial and error to get that figured out. All right, and now it's fully assembled, all back together again. Yeah. So come back for part 3 video of this hospital, and that's where you're gonna see the full height of this hospital. This is actually 9 floors plus a basement floor. So there's gonna be 4 more floors in there. And then also I've got some super exciting, you're gonna see the elevator run the full 10 floors. The basement also, there's the ambulance bay down there, there's the ER room down there, the kitchen is down there. And so yeah, you're gonna see doctors' offices, and you're gonna see the pharmacy and all that stuff. And on the part 4 video, there's a surprise when I unveil the helicopter and the ambulance. So you definitely want to stay tuned for that. Anyways, I hope you guys had a great Thanksgiving, and if you guys like this video, hit the like button, hit subscribe, leave me some comments, let me know what you guys think, or any ideas for minifigure action, minifigure scenes. Yeah, just let me know what you guys think. So thank you very much for watching, and I'll check you guys later.